G'day punters, welcome to another cracking episode of All In. Geez, I tell you what, welcoming in Dean Watling down south from the Barrier Attendant. Looks pretty chilly down there, Dino. How are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely freezing, Gannon. The little cold snaps hit and I'm shivering in my unit that has zero installation. So no, heaters on, socks are on, long pants. It's well and truly into winter now, mate.
And Lewis Willoughby over at Bondi. No doubt it's about 24 degrees and the sun's shining. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm sweating in here, Gannon. It's always shining in Bondi. No, I'm same as Dino. I thought Dino, you would have been an Ugg boots man. But fair enough. I got the Uggies on. It's one of those nights. It is very cold, but always a pleasure to be here on a Monday night and talk to you fellas.
Tell you what, I reckon Dino strikes me. I know what you're saying there, Louis. He's more of a 3 pairs of footy socks kind of guy.
Yeah, 100%.
All the ex-clubs, all the glory days.
Yeah, it's footy shorts and footy socks, and they're the footy socks doubled down as work socks. So
love it. Now, I'll tell you what, boys, just quietly, Dino, a bit of a wrap here. Punters, I'm wearing the Barrier Attendant jumper. It's the warmest jumper you've ever find, also known as a soft. So jump on board, buy one, do yourself a favour. Outstanding gear, Dino. Thank you. Right, now, let's get down to it. Racing, it's all right. It's a bit wet. It's not great. We'll see where we can have a bit of a vibe to it. But we're going to cover off a few things. We're going to go to the Queensland Oaks. We're also going to cover the Kosciuszko, the Everest, and we're going to best bet for our Wednesday. So it's a cracking show. Punters, please subscribe, comment, chime in. We do love your feedback. Before we get into the weekend's racing, though, we're going to go straight to Dean Watling with a horse to follow from the weekend.
yeah, Gannon got 2 from up in Eagle Farm. It was amazing what a good track does and some form reversals. We saw the highly prized hype horse, Maximal, the import, return to form. Dry track's the key to him. He was absolutely outstanding. He probably had the 200. You probably thought he was home, but John O'Shea's been bullish about him in the media that he's a dead set dry tracker. He hasn't found one yet. So he's one to follow. And an interesting WA horse that's now with the Snowdens that won the Sires. She's a belter. Her turn of foot was absolutely outstanding. Her trials are good and she just found wet tracks as well. But as soon as you hit that dry track, gee, the Snowdens are firing. So Maximal and she's a belter for punters, Gannon.
Outstanding. And Louis, you got a ride of the week for us, mate?
Yeah, right of the week. I'll be honest, I didn't watch a whole lot of live action on Saturday, so I was thinking of going back through all the states and trying to pick one out that was a perler, but I ended up giving it to Cuzzy Bro, Michael Walker. It was his first city winner back from a big injury that almost ended his riding career, and it was on Jigsaw, which he had won on a few weeks prior, but that was at a night meeting in the provincial. So back into Saturday grade, and Michael Walker gets on the board with Jigsaw, which is always, it's a feel-good story because he's a good rider and a good bloke to boot. So it seems on TV anyway. So I'm happy to see Mickey Walker back in the winner's circle in Melbourne. Let's touch on this Queensland Oaks, shall we, fellas? It's the lone Group 1 coming up this Saturday. I kind of have to renege on some statements we made last week in terms of it going to be a wet track. Gee, it's holding up well, isn't it? I mean, it went from a soft 6 to a 5 to a good 4 in the space of, a day or so. And all the kind of wet track form we'd done for the All-In kind of went a bit out the door, really, on race day. Yeah, but, mate, full credit to Eagle Farm. That track's in outstanding order, playing really fairly as well, and it's into the firm range. And someone pull me up if I'm wrong here, but I don't think that will be changing up until this Saturday. So I think it should be staying in that good range.
Probably let's put some water on it, Louis. Fair think.
Yeah, well, possibly, yeah. It's an interesting one. But anyway, let's have a look at this market. Thanks to Tab, the all-in market for the Queensland Oaks. Gypsy Goddess is a $2.80 favourite. Aravine is at $5. Honey Creeper at $8. Barbarator at $9 with Belle Savoie. Glint of Hope, $13. Smirk and Verona at $15, Dynasties and Lavilli at $17, and they're the last that are under the $20 mark. Now, I don't know about you fellas, but I'm really keen to play here. I've got 2 horses that we'll touch on in a second. I've done my homework prior to coming on this show for the first time in ever, so I've come armed with some ammo. So I'll come back to mine in a second, but let's start with you, Dino. How have you seen this Group 1 Queensland Oaks?
Yeah, just to echo your thoughts on the track, Louis. It played absolutely outstanding on the weekend. You could win from anywhere, leaders, back markers. It was all tempo related. So I think we can take confidence into this race. And just quietly, I like when you get up and about these staying races. You seem better than most. Gannon thinks he's an expert at these staying races, but
Nothing.
It's an interesting race. Plenty of these horses have met and had matchups, which we'll all touch on. A couple I wanted to touch on. Barrier back on a dry track was outstanding. The big query, obviously, the week before at Doomben was the wet track. We saw the dry track and the money come. Was very brave, up on pace there. Honey Creeper had that brilliant win in the Adrian Knox. Has that get back run on style though, so that's always a query, and they're on wet tracks, so we're probably going to be on a dry track. How do you assess her? Gypsy Goddess, beaten by Dynasties and beaten by El Patroness. That's top form, but another who gets back. The one I want to identify and arrow in on is Bella Savoy. She had 4 weeks between runs. They had that awkward week where Doomben was off and had to prep up again. She was going 1,600 to 2,100 for the first time, and she was super late on that inside against Barb Raider. I think she's the one here with upside. That was her first time 2000. So I think with a little bit more fitness, quick back up into this, she's the one I want to be with, and probably has a little bit more tactical speed than most. But interesting race. Gannon, how else do you say it?
Yeah, it's interesting one, isn't it? A lot of these runners have now met. Probably if I'm sort of looking, I mean, it's interesting firstly to hear what Louis thinks of Aravine. It's interesting, very short in the market. I'm sure he might touch on it, given it's had a few runs in Victoria. But for mine, I agree what you're saying with Gypsy Goddess, but if you go back to the ATC Oaks, it was fourth in the run. If it can land fourth in the run this time, and assuming it's going to be fit, and look, you know, we're going to once again assume Van Dijk knows what he's doing here, it should blow them away, right? So needs to draw a barrier. If it draws a barrier and it's fit enough, it'll win, and it'll win well. She'll win well. But if we're going to go back to the other form lines for mine, Barb Raider was super impressive. I thought Schmirk probably had the right of the race. I can't see how it turns a table on Barb Raider and Belle Savoy, and Belle Savoy was finishing off pretty quickly. One thing I'll say about Schmirk and Belle Savoy is they both had that year 2,100 metre run under the belt now. So if I was to say Schmirk, Belle Savoy or Barb Raider, probably can't split them. There you go, boys. So for mine, hopefully we get a drift on Gypsy Goddess and we just get a good barrier and we load up.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add. It's a really good race. I probably should have touched on this before we came to you, but in terms of the profile that you want, Duace won this last year and was 7 weeks between runs after running second in the Group 1 ATC Oaks. Wasn't running 2020. Back in 2019, it was won by Winning Ways, who came through the bracelet in the Gold Coast and then the Roses. Youngstar won the Roses and then won this. Egg Tart is the only one lately to come through a South Australasian Oaks. It won that and then came here in 2017 and won this race. Provocative was third up and last seen winning a 3-year-old Open. So that fits into the slot of someone like an Aravine or coming off maybe some benchmark races. I think Gypsy Goddess is the most likely winning chance, but I can't take 280. I have no doubt in my mind it turns the tables on Dynasties up to 2,200 metres. And I have no doubt in my mind it settles closer if they draw a barrier. Got back to last because it drew so wide in the bracelet over the 1,800 metres.
Yeah.
It flew home. We all see it. I think, if it draws a barrier, it settles closer. And I think 2,200 metres is a big tick. But I don't know. I just think 280 in an all-in market's a bit too short. Honey Creep is the one that's got the same kind of setup as Duace. It ran in the Group 1 in Sydney, 7 weeks between runs. They both had trials in the interim. So Duace had a trial, ran 5th. Funnily enough, Honey Creeper ran 5th in a trial leading into this. But I don't think it is a Duace, if that makes sense. So long story short, the two I want to be here with, one's already been mentioned, Belle Savoy. I really want to be with it. I think it's got enormous upside. Very similar to Aravine in the sense that they're both coming off benchmark form in Victoria. And just purely at the price, I think Aravine, having not been to the top level yet, or even real group level, $5 is a bit iffy, although I think it is very smart. So for Belle Savoy at $9, who with an extra 100 metres beats Barb Raider on the weekend, and I think you're getting $9 here, that's really good. So, but yeah, Belle Savoy for me is the first of them. And I really want to have a crack at Lavilli, who I thought was pretty good in that Group 2, the Roses. It was fifth or sixth, I think, in the finish. It settled way back in the field. It was second last on the fence in the Australian bloodstock colours with the black cap. It only got a real crack at them maybe with 250 to go, which, as we all know, in a staying race over 2,100 metres, you need more time than that to wind up. Had the fastest last 400 and 200 of the race. I think the extra distance will suit. And if it just gets a better run, maybe in transit this time, I think $17 is a crazy price for it. So, yeah, Belle Savoie and Le Villy, obviously very worried Gypsy Goddess, but just can't take it at the price.
Boys, can we say if we back Le Villy, we back Belle Savoie now, and then we wait for the barrier for Gypsy Goddess. I can't imagine it's going to be any shorter than $2.80 anyway.
Yeah.
Is that the play? Is that the play for the punters out there?
If Gypsy Goddess gets to more than $354, 100%.
Yeah. You can't see her getting any shorter than 280. Like, it's a staying race, 22, like 2,000 plus. You can't see anyone chiming in at that price. And they're such an even bunch. So interesting on that. Laville Louis ran the sixth fastest last 400 on the entire meeting there on Saturday. So good pickup.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. Barb Raider, I don't know. I thought it had a suck running behind the speed. And, yeah, it was really tough to hold him off, don't get me wrong, but extra 100 metres, Belle Savoie 100% goes past it, and the others would make a case as well.
And the other thing, Lou, is Barb Raider also had a 2,000 metre start the run before. The others are coming up from 1,800 or less. So it had every opportunity and it only won by the narrowest of margins. So for mine, I'm with you. I think we pen that. The one thing, punters, just very carefully, and I think that's why we're waiting on Gypsy Goddess, is that 2,200 metre start at Eagle Farm. It's pretty close to the first time. So keep your powder dry there. Boys, in summary, what are we doing? Best bets? We've only got the one race there. Or Dino, have you got something else for us?
Yes, Gannon, I've searched far and wide and come up with nearly a Frankie Worrell. I think this horse is absolutely flying. Races in the 1,600 metres, Magic Millions Classic, a tissue, absolutely flying. Hawkesbury, massive run from the back. Scone drew the car park, rattled home. If she jumps from the gates, and that's a big if, she'll lap up this Eagle Farm long straight and she'll be descending on them out wide. So around that $6.50 price, Louis probably can confirm if he's in front of his computer. Yep. But I really like her. I think she's going great guns. The probably only query maybe is the dry Eagle Farm first time potentially, but it's not a strong field. So for mine, a tissue is my best all-in play of the weekend.
Outstanding. And Louis, you got an all-in play for the punters?
Yeah, $6 there, a tissue. I'm with you, Dino. It just has to jump. Like, it's fingers and toes and everything crossed because it just has to jump. We know how much of a talent is. My all-in play, I'm backing Belle Savoie and Le Villy. I'm backing both of them in the market. Actually, I backed them before we came onto the podcast. So I'm locked and loaded, and then definitely waiting for those barriers to maybe have a good chime in at Gypsy Goddess. I just couldn't really be entertained by anything else in the race, although I am really excited to see what Aravine does because I do have a big opinion of it. But yeah, is it all too soon? I don't know. Who knows? But that's the great thing about chiming in at these all-in markets. It's sometimes you'll nail it, and sometimes something will blow you out of the water that you just maybe had a bit of an iffy on. But it's going to be great. I can't wait.
It's the beauty of the game, boys. And for me, I'll be having just a cheeky little placement on Belle Savoie as my all-in play at $3. And then I will be loading up on Gypsy Goddess if we can draw in the middle half of the field. Let's go. Righto, boys. Super stuff. That's going to close us out for what we've seen in the part one of All In. But punters, stay tuned. We're going to cover the Kosciuszko, the Everest, and we're also going to be back for some Wednesday best bets. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and get involved, boys. Thank you.
Cheers, boys.